Well, one aspect of being an old fart is sometimes you think of things after the fact. And I had this problem that I fixed yesterday and forgot to record the process. So here we go. We'll see what we can do. I had this problem here with this step up to the house from the porch in the back, and it's a good 10 inches or more, 10 1/4 inches, and I just got tired of climbing into the house, or felt like falling out of the house every time I go in and out. So I built basically what we'd call in Hollywood terms, an apple box. What you hear in the background is the neighbor's dog, Sheldon. I call him Shelly Belly. He's getting used to me, but it's early in the morning. He's been inside and hasn't gotten his barking quota yet, so we'll just let him get over that. So what I had was the shelves from the living room that I took down, a 1x12 board, and I had 2x4 I'd left over from my first purchase when I built the screen for the basement window, so I could air that out. And so the door was unfortunately only 32 inches on this back end of the house, and so this ended up being 36 inches or thereabouts. And so I just cut the 2x4 into two 3-foot sections and subtracted 3 inches from 11 1/4, which is the real width of 1x12. 11 1/4. Subtract the 3 inches, get 8 1/4. Cut 2 pieces of that, and then 2.5 inch wood deck screws. Screw this all together, and I can tell you, portable table saw is not exactly the best tool for doing cross cuts, especially on wide boards like this thing here. I kind of had to guide that visually, and I created a line as I'm pushing through the saw, seeing I'm going off to the left or right, and I just try to straighten it out. And it's well, again, we're not looking for perfection here, we're just trying to get something made. So it would have been nice if I had a radial arm saw. I could zip through that, or it would have been too wide for the miter box, but would have helped with the sawing of these pieces out of the 8-foot long 2x4. But yeah, so cut pieces, I built the frame, set the board on top, use 1.5 inch screws to screw it down, and one thing you gotta check is when you're using a piece of solid pine, is check your growth marks here. This thing had a cup in it because the way it's cut out of the tree, and you can't probably see it on camera, but there's a little crack here where I drew it down to the frame with the screw. And so I got screws in the one side, then I put screws here on either end to draw that cup down and try to smooth this out. But if you're putting down like deck wood, and I see a lot of cases here on this deck where they didn't pay attention, where the boards curve up. You always want to put the curve, so it will curve down, and if it does raise up, at least it'll be in the middle, not on the ends where you might catch your toe and trip. So got that screwed on the other side, and I got myself a little step to compensate for the rise over here. Now when I go in and out of the house, it's not such a chore. I don't feel like I'm falling in or falling out. So that was that project. And I explained it as best I could after the fact. Good old portable table saw. One less project to do. One of the first things I did when I got here was build this screen for this window opening here, because I wanted to air out, dry out the basement as best I could. And so, you know, part of the lumber that I bought for the apple box, we'll call it, I used that 2x4 to make the frame here. And then I bought the little trim piece, a little screen molding, and bought the screen and attached that. It's not as tight as I'd like it to be, but that's kind of a four-handed project to get that stretched out, but it does the job absolutely. And I got a little more paint I want to get on that trim to cover it up a bit, and I cleaned up the wood opening a bit and painted that so it don't look so nasty. But this is a kind of interesting feature here. I don't know if this was meant as like an emergency exit to come out of the basement, or what. This step in the corner of this window well. Not quite sure what the intent was there. There's a step on the inside that you probably can't see on camera. Maybe get a hint of it. But yeah, so it's like there was some meaning to come in and out of this, the cellar. I call it cellar because it gets cumbersome to keep saying crawl space, or yeah, it's not really a basement, so I'm going to call it a cellar. But there's another twig from my tree. I'm going to call my tree Mr. Twigs, because it seems to be the most prolific dropper of twigs of a tree I've ever seen. Okay. A screen for the crawl space. Oh, cellar window. You may have noticed that I was wearing a denim jacket. It's because, according to this thermometer on next to the front door, it's only 55-ish. So that's the reason for the jacket. Oh boy, I was zooming the wrong direction there.